Hello, hi. Let me start by asking you a question. Are you a sweet pea? Personal empowerment explorer. P. Are you one of my sweet peas? Well, if you're watching this and if you're watching other people's videos and you're looking for insight, you're looking for answers into life's challenges, then yes, you are a personal empowerment explorer. You're a sweet pea. So, welcome today. The subject of today's video is change and how hard it is. Now, there's a reason, really, I decided to make this video. Um, and, often a video will be sparked off by something that I come across or something that a customer says, and it gets me thinking, and I think, oh, yeah, that kind of comes up again and again. And very recently, I gave an internet consultation to a lady who is a new customer. I've never, she's never come to me before. And when she first emailed me, she said, she was looking for changes with regards to her love life. And she said, and I just want to hear the truth, warts and all. I just need to hear the truth. So I gave the recording and I sent it to her, and she responded relatively quickly and sounded very sad and sort of said, why are some people's lives so easy and mine has to be like this? Now that surprised me. And she said a couple of other things in there as well. And it surprised me because it was only, not long ago since I'd done the consultation, so I could kind of remember it. So I emailed her back and I suggested that she listen to it. Look, listen to it a few times more and you will hear it differently. I promise you. Just listen to it again. It'll sound different to you with every listening because I know this is how it works. Anyway, she emailed me back eventually, a short while later. And she said, you're absolutely right. I've listened to it another 3 times and I feel completely differently. And, it was a very positive consultation because, and they're always positive, even if sometimes there is some tough stuff in it, there is always an alternative. There is always but if you do this, and as that unfolds and as that changes, then this is a pathway you'll be on and this is what you'll be heading towards. And so that's good stuff, isn't it? Now, this situation has come up again and again. I mean, I've given well over 30,000 consultations, so, statistically it's going to happen. But the point of all of this is it's all about the fear of change. And I got to wondering why some people, I mean, not everybody, but there's a percentage of people who react against the consultation within about 5 seconds of receiving it. So they've obviously listened to it once. Well, 5 seconds is an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. They've listened to it once and they've reacted. And some of these, I've thought, wow, I don't understand the reaction because there was so much powerful stuff in there. Okay, this particular muddle that you're in now, no, that's not going to be sorted out and turn into something wonderful. However, there is this other stuff there, but you're going to have to do A, B, C, and D to get there. And eventually it clicked with me. It's the fear of change. So what happens is we can be presented with something that we already know, okay? That the stuff that is going on in our life now, the stuff we're asking about, no, it's not going to suddenly transform. No, it's not going to suddenly, become wonderful. We already know it, and that's why we're having a consultation on the subject. But now somebody's come along and they've confirmed my inner feelings, my deepest fears, that this probably can't be sorted out. And I know deep down inside that's true. However, what they've also done is they've also given me an image of something, an idea of something, a feeling of something that can be, that can exist for me. But I've got to make changes to get there. And I don't think that I can do it. So now that leaves people feeling not fired up and not right, okay, great. It can sometimes leave people feeling worse than before, because whilst they were kind of just hanging on to the hope that whatever it was, whatever the muddle was, whatever the upset was, the dysfunction was, that, somehow or other it could be transformed. And maybe they'd been to some, and I'm sorry, but unscrupulous readers who have basically just figured out what it is they want to hear and fed it back to them. That's quite big business out there nowadays. And so now those people are allowing them to hang on to this thing that they know deep down inside isn't really true or real, but nevertheless, we can keep going with it. But now I've come along and I've said, well, no, it's obvious, isn't it? And these are the reasons why. These are the reasons why it's not going to work. But they've also suggested that there is something which is beyond my reach. And so now I'm stuck because I don't feel I can change. I can't become the person that can get that thing, that stuff that can be on that pathway. Now, it isn't in every case, because there are a lot of people who will say, okay, I kind of already suspected what you were saying, even though I'm disappointed, even though I hoped against hope, that you would say what I wanted to hear. I kind of, it does sound real to me. And actually, I am relieved, because at least I know now there is an alternative, that I'm not stuck. Now, that's how some people face it. But for a lot of others, change is difficult, and that is why people react that way. Now, it doesn't make it okay. I'll be honest with you. I've been doing this a long time, and I'll hold my hands up. I'm not really keen on receiving responses from people that are, as in, you've disappointed me now. Because I'm not God. I'm not creating the future. It's not me who's making it up and inventing it. I'm only, telling what I see. And because I've been doing this a long time, and because I do have a very good track record for accurate long-term prediction and good guidance, workable, no nonsense guidance, I can speak with relative confidence. That's what I do. I'm not God. I can't see everything, and I can't please everybody. So, but I'm not kind of keen on people reacting and kicking off, and so maybe if people do that, I'm not so inclined to to really get involved unless they really, really push it. But if somebody gets back to me like this lady did, okay, and she sounded sad, and then when I sent her that email, just listen to it again. Really, I promise you'll hear it differently. And she got back and said, you're absolutely right, I did. But she said something very interesting. And this is what really sparked this off. She said, so many of us will say we're really open to the truth when we're not. We will say we are, we tell ourselves we are, but then we're not ready for it. We're not prepared for it. And I have come across this so many times over the years in my line of work. And I've tried to figure out ways around it. Is there any way of getting away from that? No, there isn't. Not one that I can come up with, but it all comes down to the fear of change. And so quite often, the misery of the muddle we're in, or the dysfunction of whatever's going on in our life, in a weird and odd way for a lot of us, it actually becomes easier to stay with that stuff than turn and face the idea of change. I know it's crazy, but I think lots of people will understand. We're not always rational and logical, are we? Our feelings, our emotions they don't always make sense, do they? So that's what I'm talking about here today, the actual fear of change. So what kind of change am I talking about? Do people need to change? Well, no, people don't need to change if they don't feel they need to. Okay, so I could say to somebody, well, look, in order to get to where you need to be, or where you really want to be, where you tell me you want to be, or where I intuitively feel that you want to be, you do have to change some things. They may say, no, I don't. And I would say, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to change. Nobody's telling you have to. I'm just saying, though, if you wanted to get there instead of here, then you probably would have to change, but they don't have to. A person will only change if they really feel that they need to. And I can tell you the truth. I change when I hit rock bottom, and I mean rock bottom. And people have said to me over the years, oh, well, I've hit rock bottom. But no, you haven't. Because if you can say, oh, I've hit rock bottom, you have not hit rock bottom, because that's not how it feels and that's not how it sounds. But you see, there's this place And it's a very seductive place, and it hovers just above rock bottom. And so, although we kind of want to change, we're hovering above rock bottom, and we can stay there. We can stay there forever. We can grow old and die in that place. And because we're not very comfortable, but yet we can still get by and we can still survive, we can stay hovering above rock bottom. And therefore, we don't really change. We might make the odd little changes, but we get stuck in that place. So actually, rock bottom is not a bad place to be, from many points of view. But the thing is, I've asked myself, do I need to get to rock bottom to change? Over the years, it's getting easier. I'm hitting rock bottom way, way less. In fact, I don't think I've hit rock bottom for a long time. No, I haven't. But the major changes occurred in my life when I did hit rock bottom. And there's only two options, aren't there? One is to die and one is to live. And luckily, most people who hit rock bottom choose to live. And if you're going to choose to live, then there's only one way you can go because you're on rock bottom, and that is up. So it's a pretty powerful place to be. But if you get stuck hovering just above it, it's almost like you're in a hammock above it and it's swinging. That's tricky, because you can become too sleepy to get out of it. So you only need to change. We only need to change if we have a reason to change. So sometimes we're in a relationship with somebody. It could be a friendship, it could be a family member, it could be a love partner, but we feel they need to change, but they will only change if they feel they need to change. So their behavior may be unreasonable, their behavior may be selfish, and you just can't get anywhere with it. But if they don't feel they need to change, they will not change. And that's the thing about change. We have to really feel it. And so, I don't know, looking at my consultations, I try hard to make the future, to bring it to life, the potential future, the stuff that they can move towards, bring it to life so that it's going to attract, so that the desire to change becomes stronger, because it's worth moving towards that future. It's like a carrot at the end of the stick. And I'll be honest with you, I feel a bit deflated and disappointed when I receive emails from people saying, well, I had hoped you were going to tell me A, B, C, and D. Now I'm disappointed. Or in one lady's case, I always eat peanut butter when I'm downhearted. And guess what I'm doing now after reading listening to your consultation? I must admit, I feel deflated, but I've had to find ways around that. I've had to change my response to that, because it's going to happen. I have no control over it. And if I can say with hand on heart, I really try to deliver that consultation truthfully and honestly, because there is no point in me doing this. There's no point in this work if I am going to sugarcoat it and water it down and just tell people what they want to hear. There is no purpose in my work. I might as well just throw in the towel and just say whatever comes out my mouth without giving it any thought. So, it's got to be meaningful. And so if I know that what I've delivered to that person is meaningful and that there's good information there that can help them get away from where they are, then that's all I can do. So I've had to change my approach to that response so that I don't get downhearted and I don't lose faith in my own work. Do you understand? So change, it can creep into so many areas of our life, the need for change. And so what if we're looking at our life and we feel that, how do I put this? I think I'm looking for the best way of putting this. The most powerful time in my life has come when I have said, I can't do this for 1 second longer. I can't be this person for 1 second longer. I have to change. And actually then it's a blessed relief, because where I've been now has gotten so awkward, so awful, so uncomfortable that I have to change. And so the fear of not changing is less than the fear of staying the way I was. So that's the thing. When your fear of staying in the same place becomes greater than your fear of change, you will move on. You will move on. So let me just check my list. So, what can we do? Well, first of all, we need to establish what it is we want to change and why we want to change. We have to have a reason. There's got to be a good reason for change, because otherwise we're not going to change. And so, for example, me now, I've said this before, I put on 1.5 stone in the last maybe nearly 2 years. And there's reasons at a practical level why I got myself into the place of putting on weight. But still, it doesn't matter. I'm still the one who should be in control. Now, it doesn't bother me whether other people say, well, I don't consider you to be fat, or some people say, well, I'm fatter than you. It's, we all know how we feel. So we all have, our own vision of how we want to be. And I know where I am better, weight-wise and figure-wise. Plus, I've got loads of clothes I can't get into right now. So I have to change. And, recently I've been saying, cutting down here, cutting down there, but not really doing enough, not like I used to do. And then, a couple of things happened and I thought, I can't do this anymore. I can't be this person anymore. I need to get right. I need to get myself going. I need to get this blubber off. I need to be able to get my old clothes out. I need to feel my old zest again before the end of summer. And so it's that carrot at the end of the stick, So that's only one small example of change, really. But I have to decide, and because I can make excuses till the cows come home, can't I? I go, oh yeah, but this, it's not doing me any good. It's not taking me anywhere. Nobody's going to stop me. Nobody's going to prevent me from eating too much and not exercising enough. Nobody. Okay. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just peeing into the wind when I'm coming up with excuses. At the end of the day, to get to where I want to be, then I have to commit to change. And so, if it's a financial situation that we're in, we have to commit to change. So what we need to do is say, right, this is why I want to change this. These are all the reasons I want to change. And when those reasons become more and more and more attractive to us, when they become more important to us than the comfort of staying where we are and the excuses we make and the justifications and the defenses we make and the reactions we have against any other suggestion, when those reasons to change become bigger, then we will change. And is it easy? Well, no, but you know what? Once you start putting one foot in front of the other, once you start making the little changes, they build up, they build up, they build up. So look, say for example, okay, you are really keen on getting into a nice relationship, okay, but you're hanging on to an ex in your head or in your heart or both, or you're hanging on physically to an ex and you and he or you and she, you're on and off, you're backwards and forwards, you're not leaving any space there for change. You can't have what can potentially come because it's all too tied up in knots with what is. And so in order to change, you'd have to make a genuine, honest commitment. And saying, well, I tried. No. You are not in a place of change. Anybody who says to me, well, I've tried. No, there's no commitment there. There's no commitment there. It's like a warm, wet wind settling on us. So it is hard. But if you say, look, I've got to be prepared to be in no man's land for a little while. I've got to be brave enough and strong enough to be in no man's land for a little while I let go of that. Well, I let go of it. And then what's happening is I am now committing more and more to something else, to something new, to something fresh. But we can't have both. We can't have everything from that we're hanging on to in our hands and then have space for the new stuff. So change has to require some degree of letting go. But you see, the other thing with change is having some degree of faith. And this is another thing I know about we human beings. I've heard this a lot. Well, I'll have faith when I have the evidence. You see, no, it can't happen. It never happens. So what we have to do is have faith in us. We have to have faith that the effort we're going to make and the thing that we want, that, that it's out there and that we can make it happen. And so what we need to do is take it in small chunks, step by step, day by day. So, if you're genuinely looking to change your situation, then you have to make a commitment to it, and you have to know why, and you have to make the image of what it is you want and where you're heading, you have to make it real in your mind. And you just have to keep practicing that and keep practicing that. And bit by bit, you will start to change. Okay. But you have to practice. There are some changes we can make overnight. Some people, I know somebody who'd smoked for 30 odd years, 40 a day. They made a decision one day to quit, and they did. But, lots of people, that it's not going to work that way, is it? So if we put it all into a nutshell, okay, change is important in line with growth and improvement, because we can, quite often, we can't get there from here. So we have to start changing here. People are terrified of the process. So the reason those people I've spoken about have been reactive, towards what's been suggested to them, is because they're terrified of the process that will get them from there to there. That's overwhelming. I can't do that. I don't believe I can do it. And therefore now they also feel inadequate, because there's been a suggestion put to them about what they could have, but they don't feel adequate enough to do it. And if they just stopped and breathed and responded rather than reacting, they would be able to figure it out. If they just let a little bit of time pass, just give it a bit of thought, okay? And just then think, well, okay, what if she's right? What if I really could have that? I've looked on her website, there's lots of people saying really good stuff about it. What if she's right? That means there is something really good out there for me. You see? And then bit by bit, we can think, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. I can do this, one step after another. But if we go, wow, and then we just shut the door. Okay, people have to be ready to change. And obviously, when people are in that place, they're not ready. Still doesn't give them the right to be, excuse my language, assholes. But they're not ready. Maybe one day they will be ready. But you and we can say, right, I know where I want to be. I know where I need to be. I know where I choose to be. I know where I want to be. I know where I desire to be. And I know I've got to keep unfolding and changing and growing. And it's hard work, but at the same time, it's interesting. There's new possibilities. There's new challenges. Can I do it? That's a big question. What if I can do it? Wouldn't it be great? And then when I get to where I want to be, I'll be going, what do I need to do next? More change, And that's the thing about change. First breath to last breath. We can keep changing and growing. So we decide whether or not we want to change, okay? We come up with the reasons why we want to change. It might be a small change, it might be a massive change. But if we want to get from here to here, you can bet your bottom dollar there's some degree of change required. We're going to be open to the idea of change. We're going to be open to the suggestions. We're going to be open to pieces of information, insights that could help us. And we're going to start building a new picture of whatever it is we want to change into, we want to move towards, and what we want to become. And so, change then becomes our friend, and it's like something drawing us forwards. Come to me. So you will know if you're genuinely ready for change, if you're genuinely in a place where you think, you know what, no, I really want change. I really want it. And it's not going to be easy, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to seek out anybody who can reassure me on my journey, because there will be people who can help you. I'm going to seek out information that will keep me going. I'm going to seek out anything that can give me momentum. And I'm not going to kick back against it. I'm not going to blame people. I'm not going to react against people. I'm going to join those people who are in that movement of change. I'm going to get in with them. I'm not going to get in with these. I'm not going to get in with this lot who are constantly bitching and whining and analysing and, breaking things apart and, arguing about them, maybe on some place on the internet where people gather to do this stuff. No, I'm not going to be part of that. I'm going to be part of this forward movement. And ouch, bang my elbow. And we can do it. So if you want to change something, start today, okay? And put your backbone into it and know that you're not alone. You're not alone. There's so much help out there for you, advice, information, free information that you can just tap into just when you need a bit of reassurance, a bit of a push behind you, a bit of wind under your wings, yeah? You can do it. Okay then? So, right. I'm going to go now and I will see you again soon. So, bye-bye, sweet peas. Bye.